Happy Friday, back here on the B and Guillén. Obviously, I am corona-free. This is why they're back in the studio. I survived it. I did not lose weight, which was something that I was looking forward to. But welcome to another B and Guillén. A sad day for baseball.
Yes.
Found out this morning, hammering Hank Aaron, who we'll talk about later, has passed away. I had a chance to meet him, be around him in Ozzy's years in Atlanta, but someone who impacted the game of baseball and played in a time where it was hard. So we'll talk about that. Happy birthday, Ozzy Guillén. And that's how we're going to kick off the show today. Doing it for the gram. It's a little bit into Ozzy Guillén's birthday celebrations. A little bit different than how he used to celebrate in his 20s.
Happy birthday, dear Buelo. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Hopla! Yay!
Rico. Su favorito.
Hit it. Happy 56th birthday?
57.
57, damn.
You know, first of all, I'm glad that we're back in the studio. I mean, I love doing it here from the setup. And second of all, it was a really good time. I know that you get older and you want to be around the grandkids. My mom's food was exceptional. The paella was really, really well done. It was just a good time being around family. He got presents. Adela got to knock the cake with the thing, and it was great.
Klein Bakery made the cake, was really good at Klein's Bakery. Made the cachitos, made like our Venezuelan kind of desserts. Evie's made the food
and
again.
Ozzy's birthday was yesterday. Jeff Akari's birthday is today. He's watching a fellow Brown.
Happy birthday. No, but I'm saying so I remember growing up when you were in your 20s, obviously you were much younger because I was little. And I remember seeing you pass out on top of your congas.
Yeah, well,
I'm saying this is after like 2.5 days of partying, like for your birthday party.
Yeah,
So those parties would last like 2 or 3 days.
By the way, I remember one birthday. They celebrated my birthday 3 days. One to be in Puerto Rican friends coming to my house. Then the real birthday come up. They sing happy birthday like 30 times. Then we went to the bullfight. And then they see a bullfight before. Then after that, we go with Emilio Lovera, his wife, mi comadre, to a place. After a bullfight just to eat, they sing another birthday. It was like, come on, this is 27.
I don't think you're in shape not to do one of those.
No, I know. I cry for everything now. You know what I mean? The reason a lot of people say, "Why you crying?" I say, "Well, I don't think when you have a wife like that, she's in the top of everything. Try to make everything better for the family. Then you have 2 kids next to you, and that's why hopefully you live in longer than that.
Yeah. Well, if anybody knows the before we get into the topics, January is always very, 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 very busy month for the Guillén family. Osne's birthday was on the 3rd. My dad's birthday. We have a lot of cousins. We have my sister-in-law's birthday was like 2 or 3 days ago. My birthday's on Monday, which nobody knows about, and because I don't like people texting me that they don't know me that well.
Saturday was the 15th.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of cousins and aunts and uncles for January. So January's always been a very, very busy month. And we have Osne, who's in the finals. I haven't been this into a final since like 05.
Hopefully they yesterday they had a day with Destiny. They lost. They had a day off today, and hopefully they can close it out. Osne will be 2-time back-to-back Colombian champion. He'll be in the Caribbean Series for a second time, which not a lot of managers, especially at his age, have been able to do. So that's fun, and we'll talk more about that. But when we're talking about birthdays, we're talking about, now I'm 36 years old. You're, 57, like you just said. And then you start looking at guys like legends. Dan Sutton had passed away. Wow. Guys in the Hall of Fame. Tommy, guys in baseball. Oh, here's the video.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there it is. This is when they won. I forgot that we had a clip. But it's very stressful watching games because you watch them a little bit differently. Obviously you want them to do well, and beautiful stadium in Barranquilla, but a lot of controversy in that. Ozzy's actually suspended.
The season the series is 3-2.
3-2.
With Ozzy's team leading, so all they have to do is win one of the next 2. Hopefully,
and then the part I'm more proud about this team is the other team. They have a very good big league team, meaning they have the Ramirez kid that plays for the Marlins.
Yeah, they have guys that that have played in the big leagues. Donovan Solano left, but they still have guys that have played in the big leagues. Whether it be a Dave,
what's his name?
Harold Ramirez.
Harold Ramirez is probably. I'm saying though he
hit.
makes the league look very easy, but he obviously Solano had a really good year, but Harold Ramirez is probably one of the best up and coming Colombian players. So
yeah, guys that have played. So it would be basically like it's like a David versus Goliath.
David versus Goliath.
Their budget is not great, but they're in it, and hopefully
he's Tampa.
Right.
And by the
They
way,
win it
they-
one
they-
time. And we'll be celebrating. I mean, we're in talks about possibly going to Mexico for the Caribbean series and maybe doing a show from out there. So a lot of things are there.
By the way, I think they're swimming against the current. It's a lot of thing out there, kind of.
And
you know,
let's get this out the
kinda
way
weird.
for the people already giving me slack. I have another job that is not being Guillén. I'm a financial professional. I have a meeting later on today. That is why.
Oh, that's why.
That is why I'm dressed like this. Usually,
Wait a
I'm
minute.
wearing
Doesn't have a-
sweats.
People look like okay. I'll ask you dress like it's cold today.
It's freezing.
Very
By
cold.
the way, so Oni does not have a date with
Yeah, I mean,
with in the court. He's not going to court.
yeah.
He's
I
not
have a job. And, other jobs.
So talking about that jobs though, we're gonna get more into this later because another thing. Congratulations on being named number 13 the power ranking. Again, we're gonna get there, but I want to get real quick and jump into hammering Hank Aaron because with everything that's happening today in America, and I'm not gonna get political in the sense of I don't care how hard it is for you today, baseball players, basketball players, football players, that you feel oppressed, including Latinos. I'll throw myself in the freaking bunch. We say sometimes we feel oppressed. I'm oppressed.
I never.
And I'm just saying though, like you grew up, like it's a thing. Oni knows about it. Everybody does it. Like you got guys in the NBA, everyone taking a knee, everyone high fiving, everyone feels oppressed. Okay, and our country's not perfect, and it's not. And there's things, and you always strive to get better, and it is. But Hank Aaron played in 1952. It's like 10 years removed from the color barrier. Okay, guy goes to the game. Like right now, if you're in the stadium and somebody says, "Hey, you N," everybody's going to turn around and be like, what did this guy just say?
come on, man.
Like
Yeah.
everybody in the stadium's going to be like, get this guy out of here.
Or maybe they don't say anything, but at least
They'll get security.
yeah.
If somebody drops the N-word, everybody turns around like, what did somebody just say?
Yes.
Hank Aaron was hearing the N-word every time he wasn't in his stadium, sometimes in his own stadium. Hank was going to certain places, not being able to stay or eat with his teammates. This guy never hit 50 home runs, okay? He basically started in his 20s and was the king, in my opinion, of consistency. He was never the best player in the league, won the MVP only once, and basically puts the Braves on the map. But throughout his career, plays 50s, 60s, 70s to the late 70s, is basically in the heyday of baseball and the transition, and he lived it, okay? And he overcame all that, took the game of baseball to the next level. And the best part is they asked him, okay? They asked him about his record. And he says, I hope that if a player who was black or white, okay,
gets to break it,
I will root for him. It shows you that this guy was not holding any grudges, number one, against anybody. But number two, even about his record. And, a lot of people have brought up Hank was probably jealous of Barry Bonds and him going after it. Might have been more jealous of Barry's salaries, but his home run thing, I think for him, the number is just there. And when you think about the home run champ, you argue one or two, but with all due respect, even to Barry Bonds, which in my opinion is probably one of the greatest players of all time, Hank Aaron, his name, especially in my era, means so much more to the game of baseball than any other guys like Barry Bonds is going to mean, because I think of what he overcame. And, when you were in Atlanta, like you see him and you're like, man, that's Hank Aaron.
Yes, indeed.
I think
But, I'm sorry, when they're going to talk about Barry, maybe one of the best players ever, you can name him. But, was a great player. He was icon. This morning when I wake up, I'm checking my phone. Everybody was tweeting, say something about him. They say a hero, an icon, the greatest. They don't say he's a great ball player, a great home run hitter. No, he was a great human being, a very good guy to follow, to be through it. There are a lot of people talking about right now the situation is in the country, but this man, he was better than people thought. Now they find out, like every time you see Henry Aaron, you're like, oh my God. And that was my first time when every time I was with Atlanta Braves, I saw him walking to the dugout, and I like, oh my God. And, I want to approach him, but I don't know him. I'm like, oh, okay, I got to respect. Then Bobby Cox come out and say, Bobby, man, that's one man I really love to meet. And Bobby go, come on. He made me Ozzy, welcome to the ball game. Welcome to our team. Hopefully you have to say here, my best and that. That guy was so great to talk to, even for 2 seconds, because everybody wanted a piece of him when he was around. And to me, it was a privilege to meet him.
You know what? Spending 2 years in Atlanta in the summers, to me, I don't know, Hammer and Hank was the epitome of class on and off the field. To go through what he went through in really crucial times with the civil rights movement and everything, the fact that you really didn't hear much about him in a negative way goes to show you what kind of person he was. But to me, on the field, just the model consistency, just, never hit 50 home runs.
The media also, okay, when you're looking at covering Hammer and Hank, the media never made him the best player.
No.
They never said he was. They were like, oh, this guy's going to break the home run record. It was towards the end of his career.
They noticed,
they said, oh, this guy's
if you really
good.
look at it, he hit like 30 home runs for like X amount of years.
But compared to Willie Mays, for example, Willie Mays during his time,
he never, that's what I would think of other than Hammer and Hank and everything that he went through. I thought that he was just a model baseball player, very consistent of what he did in and out. And now that everything's going on and baseball went through the steroid era and guys work out and all that stuff, there's a lot of people out there that are, a lot of people comment that Hammer and Hank will always be the home run king.
Yes.
So I love the Hammering Hank. I love that Major League Baseball. By the way, Major League Baseball now, analytics guys, everybody that thinks knows more than anything. You guys would have fired Hammering Hank 10 years before his time was up.
Yeah.
He played till he was 44 years old. Okay,
yeah.
So and the guy hit 20 home runs at like 40 at
right.
At
and
39,
then that clip is now famous. I think he's going home run off Downing for the Dodgers in Atlanta. He's running the bases. People are coming after him. He left a legacy. And the great thing about the baseball's going to miss most about Hank Aaron is that look at guys on the Braves now. He was around the ballpark.
So that's a problem to talk about.
He doesn't disappear.
The effect that when I think about Hank Aaron, okay, Atlanta Braves. I've been in a lot of really good teams and bad teams with a lot of great players and names. But when Hank Aaron would come into the clubhouse, including with Bobby Cox as a manager, everyone from Bobby to Ozzy to Andrew to Greg Maddux to Chipper, like just a list of like Hall of Famers and All-Stars. Everyone's like, that's our guy. Like he is the Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
And I know that Andrew Jones had a great relationship with him through Andrew's career. He was always very close to him. It was the same with Ronald Acuna. When I mean close to him is like there's teams and there's guys that disappear. And when you think about Atlanta Braves, you don't think about like the New York Yankees. They got so many stars, but like when you think Braves, like if you were at the Braves Stadium, there was a good chance that Hank would be there. He would be there with the owner. He'd be around baseball. So he didn't go anywhere. He stayed around the game and basically influenced a whole generation.
Yeah, and I think it's great to help promote the game.
Yeah.
Like you don't come to Sox Park and you don't see a punch fist.
No, you don't. You don't see Frank hanging out.
You don't see Frank hanging out, signing autographs. He's usually on TV. Those Hammer and Hank was around the ball players in the clubhouse, always around guys, and that's why if you guys are around social media today, you're going to see a lot of people like guys like Freddie Freeman. They never even came close to seeing him,
but they met him as a
person, and he will be dearly, dearly missed. And you know what? 2021 is off to a hot start. Don Sutton, Hank Aaron. The baseball world.
Heaven's getting a good powerhouse.
It's almost going to be a year now that Kobe Bryant passed away. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
It's around my birthday. How fast has everything been going on?
Everything.
So really, be grateful for the people that you have out there and tell your legends that you love them. You just never know. These guys, I mean, I think he was 86.
86 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes. And again, the Hall of Fame was even more special this time around because when we saw him. He just took the vaccine.
A couple days ago.
Really?
Yes.
Don't start with any conspiracy theory.
Someone out here saying Tom Moorhead saying Dusty Baker was a rookie ball player that Hank Aaron mentored.
Yes.
And now look at him, big league.
And now look at Dusty.
So that to me though, and I love the fact that the Braves were always around him because I love when I think about teams, and you guys can hear me on Twitter arguing with people. Even though your team on the field could be great, I think about teams like legacies, like. You look at Hank Aaron and like the list, and there's so many great Braves, from Murphy to Maddox, and then
he had a history with the Milwaukee. He was in Milwaukee.
Brewer. That's what I'm saying. Though he comes
nearby,
but I'm saying though he brings Atlanta, puts Atlanta on the map.
Right,
was like an expansion team, like when you think about all those things, like imagine if like there was a team in Nashville, if the Rays went to Nashville and like Hank Aaron went with them there and then establishes baseball in a whole city. So Atlanta, and I know, and he's, this guy was like, got the Medal of Honor, I think, Freedom.
Yeah.
He did things off the field.
These are things that, you know what, and hopefully MLB The Show's coming out with a new game.
They got to put him in the cover.
Yeah,
he's got to be in the cover.
He'll probably be on the cover, and that is a great way to promote baseball for future generations that they don't know about Henry Aaron, and they don't know about Roberto Clemente. So these are things that this is how you promote your game and how you teach people of the history of your beautiful game.
Yeah.
But guys that say, now taking a knee, no one dealt with the stuff that people like
free agents,
Jackie.
by the way, in free agency, these guys were getting signed.
Yeah.
I look at his numbers, they look like video game numbers.
Yeah,
like you look at his numbers and I'm like, this guy would be like, we thought, we'll talk about it. We thought Springer was good.
Sure.
Like you think about guys that you're like, oh, this guy's amazing. And you get these arguments and you look at these numbers. I'm like, how much money would Hank?
And we got Rodrigo Diaz saying that he would like for the Braves and Brewers to rename their park as Hank Aaron Field. Maybe they'll do some sort of, but I know for sure that the Braves will be honoring him.
Hey, by the way, Major League Baseball will do something very huge.
Yeah,
like MVP award.
I don't think people realize everyone goes to the home run, but he had a relationship
with the commissioner.
With like, I'm saying when Major League Baseball, Roberto passed, so we don't know if he was going to be buddies with people. But like when I think about a superstar of that era that had a connection to the game, even bigger than Joe Morgan, like the connection to him and MLB from like a media standpoint, a team standpoint, the Hall of Fame, like he was the guy, like he was the face of, the history of the game that was alive and well. And, even in the Hall of Fame, like when you have Hall of Famers, that's how you know you're big. When you have Hall of Famers praising you, like we're all Hall of Famers, but amongst the Hall of Famers, you are the Hall of Famer. He was in that group.
Yeah.
He was in a group of like, there was like Frank and guys hanging out. And then there was another group of like,
there we go.
Like that
like
group.
Willie Mays, Hank Aaron.
Like if Willie Mays was alive, he was there. But like Hank,
yeah,
it was like Joe. Like it was a group of like guys that, to be in that group, it's like all
special.
The other guys would look. It was like a circle. Like everyone was like looking at inner circles, like the Hall of Famers looking within the Hall of Famers. So, and again, that comes to legacy, and it comes to our next topic because it shows that now, and even more now than before, how you can forget someone completely for what they did on the field to what they've done off the field. And before it was, if there was something illegally done or you ended up in jail, was that you became infamous. But now it's not the case. Everyone knows what happened in the Capitol, regardless of what you believe in or don't believe in. It's a very sensitive subject, okay? Basically, people stormed the Capitol like it never happened in my lifetime. So it's a big deal. So Curt Shilling, okay, who we know was a very strong supporter of not only the president, the outgoing president, supporter of more of the conservative right looks, but he doubled down and he said that it was needed and the revolution needed to happen. And I compared this because, people are talking about it as like where I come from, like if we were in Venezuela and someone rushes the Capitol like that, it's a coup. Like there's no other way to look at it.
They're overthrown.
You're getting overthrown. Like I think Americans never thought about it that way because they never lived through one.
No.
Me, I've lived through a couple as a kid. So anytime I saw guys in military and people say golpe estado, like they're gonna try to overthrow it. So I think that I'm not gonna say I'm immune to it, but it was like, oh, this could happen. Like
it was just very shocking to see.
Like Sarah thought, like Sarah
it was very shocking to see
in the United States. Like Sarah, my wife was like,
So
Curt doubled down.
Curt doubled down. He tweets.
He says,
I didn't know this. I didn't know. I've been a baseball fan for 35 years. I didn't know that the Hall of Fame has a character clause.
They do. And now it was there before. So here's the thing. Like steroids, okay? Major League Baseball did not say you can use steroids. Pine tar rule. Major League Baseball did not say you can put pine tar over your glove. They did not enforce it as much. So when guys like Babe Ruth and things like that were getting in, they were like, it's not a big deal. Okay. Now, okay, and it's not just Kirk, which is the part that people think that it's like
it's a Andrew, it's Omar.
No, I'm saying they're looking at everybody's past. Guys, we just crucified in Chicago Tony La Russa for getting a second DUI.
Reckless driving.
Okay. He didn't hurt anybody. Again, is it irresponsible? Yes. Is it like, do I think that he shouldn't be working? No, but there's people that think that. Nowadays, I think that character clause is becoming a bigger deal, and they're going after, I'm going to say it, I don't want to talk about it, Omar's domestic violence situation. Everyone's been bringing it up. They've brought up players in the past that, now they're like, oh, well, they put the stats on how you did it, and they put your arrest.
Let's say something first. The fact that they're taking into consideration more now, that is their problem. Babe Ruth, of course, he drank, he hit, whatever. They didn't care about it then.
No.
They just did it. Now they are.
Well, it's the people that are voting. The people that are voting, okay, and this is a generational thing. What is accepted by another generation, I'll give you this much. When I grew up in Venezuela. If my uncle had a couple of beers, I wouldn't think it's a big deal, okay, because I grew up as different. Now, if my kids to get in the car with somebody that's been drinking, that's unheard of. We used to let kids wear seatbelts. There was no car seats. People evolved. So for Curt, for the writers, for this day and age, and the writers, and here's the part that for him that is going to be hard, okay? Curt was not a regular fit-in guy.
Because he's a borderline guy.
He's not Hank Aaron.
Exactly. Because
he's a borderline guy.
So the fact that he's doing this,
that hurts you.
Mad respect to Curt Shilling for standing behind what he
believes.
Good for him.
Doubling down.
That is unbelievable.
Good for Curt, but
it's going to affect him.
But he needs to know
this is going to affect him.
That he can't say because the part is this. There was people that were still voting him and saying, "Hey, it's okay." Now people are saying, "Whoa. You've gone too far. I want my vote back. I don't want
to rescind votes."
They're literally calling saying, "I want the vote back."
Which is not allowed. And the same thing happened with Omar Vizquel, who has an allegations of domestic
violence.
But
this is going to affect him in the next year.
Of course. And I don't think Curt Shilling gets in now. I don't think he gets in now in ever.
I don't think he gets in.
Because people are so...
Because here's the part. If you go in, let's say he doesn't get in, okay? Fred McGriff's on the Hall of Fame, biggest travesty in the world. But let's say you go to the committee. Harold Baines. When they were voting for Harold,
nice guy.
What do people say? Oh, Harold's the greatest teammate of all time. Harold's Lee Smith. You're like, people are going to vouch for you. Do you think in the meeting, everybody's sitting down?
No, we don't like that guy.
When Curt comes up.
Of course.
From your generation. Not only did he have a hard time on the field, but I'm saying even from your peers, because then they're going to find out if he gets in, they're going to find out who voted for Curt. You know what I mean? So they're going to judge you. I'm even scared in Twitter of saying I think Curt Shilling was a great pitcher because people are going to be like, you support. I'm like, no. I'm trying to keep them separated. So it is a situation.
What we thought was, I know my dad was one of that thought like, oh, it doesn't matter if they're a nice person or not, blah, blah. But I'm like, the Hall of Fame has a character clause.
I don't know.
I didn't know
that's wrong. You know why, Ozzy? We talk about
because you represent. It says that you're representing the game of baseball, and you need to have good character, and you have to have integrity. Well, yes, of course.
No. Wait a minute. I can go by. I'm not going to say around here. After the show, we talk about integrity or bad thing. It's full of hands in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, of course.
They did a lot of wrong things.
Of course, but it's the people voting.
I know.
Okay? No, but I'm saying though, the pack when we talked about the part that we talk about the Hall of Fame that is wrong. Okay, it's a marketing. It's like running for president. It's like a campaign thing. Okay. I don't care who you are. You can come at me with whatever question. There's no way in this earth or the universe that Scott Rowland is a Hall of Famer before Andrew Jones. I don't care how you put him. I don't care if Phil Rogers tells me, but ask your dad. Shortstop and third base is such a more harder position to play. I don't care. It's not Andrew Jones' fault that he's an outfielder.
Wait a minute. Andrew Jones.
So is it Hank Aaron's fault? So is it Hank Aaron's fault that he was an outfielder?
No.
That's what I'm saying, though. So they didn't get the 500.
By the way, Henry Aaron, he was a very Carlos Lee.
No, he wasn't a very good outfielder, but he didn't get paid. But I'm saying, though, when people bring up those arguments now, so if people are making mistakes voting on baseball, then when we start getting into moral clauses, then there's people like, if someone's going to judge me, like if you put me on a moral clause on what I consider morally wrong or correct to like my wife, very different world. So now there's people.
Because I always say this, writers are human. I don't care who you are. If you like somebody better, a.k.a. Kirby Puckett,
you're in.
You're in.
Hey, I'll give you an example. Will vote for it happened for him yesterday. And people were like, no one wrote me back. No one in Chicago said one person, the one that got put, I put him in the social media takedown. I put it in the figure 4. Inauguration. I'll be honest with you. I never thought I'd hear Spanish speaking in presidential inauguration. Thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I lost money. I said someone was going to take a knee. They didn't. I lost that bet. But someone spoke Spanish. I thought it was cool. And I said, that's really cool. Someone spoke Spanish. Why? Because I think it's just interesting. And a reporter wrote, oh, it's about time. And I said, wow, that's very interesting because you guys used to make fun of Ozzy with his broken English when he was a manager, and no one used to support him when he would talk about Hispanic things and Hispanic rights and things that were happening at the time, and you guys deemed them crazy.
Because 2005 to 2006 is not 2021.
Correct. So can I hate that person? No, because he's changed his mentality. So if Ozzy was going to be someone that's getting voted into the Hall of Fame, you're like, oh, the times change and the story changes. So now the unfortunate part to Curt Shilling is we're not even arguing the numbers. Like I can't even go in there like on Twitter and like when I argue about Andrew Jones, I'm dropping stats. I'm dropping like now with Curt, I can't even do that.
But like we got Lou Manning and Rodrigo Diaz saying that I agree with them. I think the Hall of Fame should be based on baseball merit.
Correct.
That's it.
Correct.
Because I don't care. Sorry, I don't care what Curt Shilling's political views are.
I agree.
I care if he can get people out.
And,
I don't care.
Wait, and other people's political views.
We talk about you and me talk about it yesterday, and I talked to my wife about it. I'm not going to hear a lot about these people when I say this. This is a fake. How do you say that? Politic model. Everybody say, "Oh, we are freedom of speech. We are freedom. We are freedom in nothing in this country."
Especially now.
We don't, because who cares what Curt Shilling like or not?
It's ironic. It's ironic. I have him here. It says Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. Do you think that somebody, this is my office, that has these two things, you can judge my political views? I'm just saying, hold on. But here's the difference. I keep mine to myself, okay? Curt is not. So in the world of telling people to speak up, can I judge Curt Shilling, Ozzy Jr. personally, on what he says? I'm a hypocrite if I do. He's just a little nutty, like you've been in the past, and says, no, I'm going to double down in what I say. So that part, because I can't hate, because I don't hate athletes when they double down on what they say. And that's why I lost the bet about the taking the knee, because I said they've taken a knee and everything else. If you're really that supportive, if you were in the government, you would have taken a knee. Like you would have taken a knee during the national anthem, but nobody did it. Okay, like A-Rod would have taken a knee in the national anthem, saying, "I'm so."
They call Tony La Russa racist because
correct,
but the comment he made, it's not.
No. So I think that Curt, in his mistake, and this is what I'm going to tell. Also, I'm going to say, hey man, put up your political views in
in your back pocket.
In your back pocket, because I think it does affect you. Okay, and it affects you more on one side than the other side.
Listen, now we're living in a day and age that if you wanted Donald and you didn't want Biden, people stop unfriending you. They don't talk to you.
Somebody called me. Like, if somebody said, because I said this, and I don't care what anybody
said, good luck to Biden.
I'm going to say this. I'm a fan of a team, Chicago Bears. Do I like their current coach? No, I think he's horrible.
When he still root for the team.
I still root for the team.
Yes.
Do you think if I'm a fan of the team and they don't get the guys that I want, and I called out White Sox fans out yesterday about Tony. I said, I can't wait till all you guys start saying, we love you, Tony. Like, I can't wait. So for me, the United States as a country is like a team.
Of course.
Whoever you're the leader of it, I'm like, oh man, if this guy does well, we're gonna win.
Someone said the other day, it's like being on a plane, but you don't like the pilot.
Yeah, you're like,
you want the plane to crash.
I have a question. Dude, I just talked to my wife when that thing happened, and I was shocked, embarrassing. Everything I said, golly, we came for a country. We're happening before we've seen it. Now we come to the best country in earth, and we see the same stuff. To me, that was sad.
I think it was sad, but I think it could have been a lot worse than it was.
To me, it was a show. They don't show anything.
No, I'm just saying. It was
a show like,
it was like funnier.
Yeah.
Now, like in 20 years, we've done a lot worse. But we're talking about this. So when we're looking at it from a political standpoint to a team, I'll talk about Sleepy Joe this way right now. You know, when you've been coaching forever, this wasn't even part of the show. This is something that I came up with that I want to tell you guys. Two things are going to happen. He's either going to be Joe Madden, managed coach for 300 years, and then he got a shot and then became who he is, or he's Ricky Renteria.
So there's either one.
What are you talking
about? Joe Biden, our president, okay, was like when you've been coaching in professional baseball.
Let's hope it does
for 100 years. Like he's been in government for 50 something years, coaching. You know, he was Obama. Hold on, he was Obama's number 2 guy. That means he's a bench coach. All this stuff. Finally, a team said, we're going to give you a shot. Joe Madden, Tampa Bay.
Successful.
They said after 35 years of him coaching, Tampa said, I want you to be the manager. Joe Madden, 1 World Series away from being a Hall of Famer. Okay? Rick Renteria.
I think you ought to be
Hold on.
I think so.
Well, I'm saying though.
You know why? You know why I think? I think because it cannot be worse and the guy just left. Because the guy.
We're not going to talk.
I don't want to talk about politics. Separate everything.
But you are. But I'm saying though, in the world of funny thing, it could either be that, or it could be Rick.
Yeah, and before we jump to the next subject, we have a great comment from Hector Iván de Jesus. They said that the article was Bonds and Clemens are getting a little push right now with the writers, and they're saying
the best thing that happened to Barry Bonds was the fact that Curt Shilling said all
and
that.
it said how hypocrite is that these writers from the BBWA voted for Rodriguez, Bagwell, Piazza. They were all rumored to be involved with PEDs. They just never got.
Well, all the writers of the BBWA and the president of the BBWA is my friend. Former presidents of the BBWA I've been friends of mine. The BBWA, Major League Baseball, like they're changing rules on runner on second, 3 batters. They need to change the voting process because these guys voting,
it's very
guys voting saying none of these guys are Hall of Famers.
There's some ballots that have been blank.
Roger Clemens right now, compared to Curt Shilling, 2 people have benefited from this, other than other guys in the ballots. Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds. Why? Because now in the world of what you did is so bad. If Barry Bonds came out right now and marched in front of a Black Lives Matter group, took a knee, cried,
he'd get in tomorrow.
He would become the martyr of that. I'm not, again, don't hate. If he became that player and said, I regret it, I want to help this, he starts off there. That's why I think CeCe's going to help. CeCe's going to be like the
yeah, well, we'll see what happens because the voting, another thing that's going to come out, the voting comes out, I think, next week.
He still has to make his vote. But somebody on Twitter asked players to vote because I think it's interesting. The only one that's controversial is because I love him to death.
Yeah, so we're going to see.
I wouldn't put Mark in.
We're going to see what happens, who's in, who's not.
But Scott Rowland is not a Hall of
By
Fame.
the way, I'm going to do that today. I'm going to vote the guys I think. I'm going to tweet today. I think should be.
Don't tweet it. You have to sit down and think why, because when you really have to think about the vote, you have to, I'm not looking at character clauses. I have to look at things. Do you guys know that?
I want to look at
I'm saying Scott Rowland never played more than like 5 years, more than 130 games.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, so numbers wise, again, Fred McGriff's not a Hall of Famer, so
how the hell Fred McGriff
because he didn't hit 500 runs because the BBWA writer said, the guy got traded like 8 times, like it was his fault.
So that's not his fault.
And he played with a strike. So again,
hey, the hot stove's heating up too. So
hot stove's heating up. Next topic, and again, Curt Shilling, I don't think he gets in. I think it's wrong, but hey, it's their vote, it's their opinion. But I'll tell you this much: if he doesn't get in, it's definitely going to get more interesting for Twitter for him.
Hey, first of all, before we talk about the hot stove, if you guys have been watching Guillén the last couple of weeks, I've been on fire. Do we have a clip of me saying that George Springer is going to the Blue Jays? Now that everything's been going on, I really don't see the Mets getting Springer. I'm going to say that the Toronto Blue Jays end up getting George Springer. Okay, I don't have any contact with any GMs in baseball. I just went with what I thought was a good choice on their behalf to get a good player in this prime. He's only going to be 36 by the time his contract's over. I think it's a great deal. You get an everyday guy. The Blue Jays lineup is really, really good. Those young guys are only going to get better with Springer around them. Yeah, I just don't see why. It's hard to think that the money isn't like, wow, like it's $150 million for 6 years.
It's fair.
It's
fair for both sides. I'll give you a thing. Hammering Hank Aaron played till he was 42 years old. Okay? So for every fan out there, and I don't care if your team, when you value players, okay, it's like I have 8 shortstops on my team. Doesn't mean that my team's going to be good. Okay? So the Toronto Blue Jays filled a spot where they needed help. Okay? And I go back to the White Sox and the comparison of money. Okay? Your closer was good that you signed. Probably one of the best guys in the game. You have 4 guys on that staff right now, including Crochet and his weird pants that could close. So you spend $18 million for a guy that's going to come in the 9th inning. Okay? When you have 4 guys that could have done that job. Then you go and spend $8 million on Spanky at a meeting to play right field. Spanky's numbers, go look him up. He was Mazzara, shorter, a little bit faster. Okay? So you're going to tell me that a team like the White Sox, for $26 million, for a guy for 5 years, he's going to be 36 when his contract ends, that you think it was too many years because he's too old. When those other guys have played this game till their 40s. And by the way, George Springer has better weight program than all those older guys. And by the way, when I look at him, doesn't have a weight problem.
He's a good athlete.
He looks good. So even with him diminishing hitting wise, he's still going to be. So Toronto Blue Jays, I think they got themselves a dude.
And I think they got themselves a steal.
They still got himself a steal at $150 million. This is something that's going to be interesting. When I look at his contract, okay,
I take it over Manny's. I take it over Bryce Harper. I take it all over.
That's what I'm saying. Though, compared to those guys, and compared to guys that are signing for shorter deals, Michael Brantley, okay, the Grandal sign, the McCann sign that just happened, and McCann's my boy. You look at the value and you say, man, for $25 million, that was not a bad deal. That was a very, very good deal. It was solid.
And you think they're going to trade somebody to get a better couple?
Better arms?
They need
which team?
That's a myth.
Toronto.
That's a myth. He doesn't watch enough baseball. They have all the best. Again, Chicago. We only think that our prospects are going to hit. They have the best pitching prospects in Major League Baseball.
They
already one of them.
They have the ability because they have a couple guys. They have Grichuk and a couple guys in the outfield. They have the ability to go get somebody via trade.
I think Cleveland needs to call Toronto. Okay, Cleveland has more pitching that they can do with it. They need to call in. They have the worst hitting offensive team ever. They made a couple moves because, guys, they need to move Bichette, Vladdy Jr., get themselves a package of pitching.
They can compete. First of all, people forget Tampa's not going anywhere. Tampa, they're figuring something out. Tampa, Yankees, Blue Jays. 14 teams make the playoffs. Just get to the playoffs, and then you see what goes on. By them getting Springer, they're putting themselves in contention.
If they get a guy like Jake Arrieta,
that would help
to be number 4.
That would help a lot. Yeah.
And would you consider a guy like Lester going to the Nationals?
Listen, the next domino, we need Trevor Bauer to sign because the Yankees getting Kluber is a sneaky good deal. I believe he hasn't pitched in a while. 2-time Cy Young. Trevor Bauer needs to sign. I think Trevor Bauer is going to go to the Angels,
Dodgers,
somewhere West Coast. They're looking at it. The Angels, the Giants.
I think he goes to the Angels because the Angels were going to overpay.
I think the Angels paid. They're going to put it with Quintana, Joe Madden.
I think Perry has to make a splash.
I think
he overspends.
I think the Angels get Trevor Bauer, but then I'm looking at. I need Nelson Cruz to sign somewhere.
I want him to sign him in the Minnesota.
I want him to sign. If Nelson Cruz signs with the Minnesota, I have him as division champs. No questions. If whoever gets Nelson Cruz is going to get.
If the Twins sign him, if the Indians sign him.
Who? National?
The Indians are in contention to be.
I'm just saying. So they need offense. They lost 2
because
guys, but they signed Nelson for 1 year.
Because that's guaranteed.
2 years.
That's guaranteed 40 home runs, 120 RBIs, 320 batting average.
Would you consider $22 million for him for 2 years if you were Cleveland?
I would sign. I would if I was the Indians. But the thing is, they want too much money. If I was the Indians, I sign Nelson Cruz and Eddie Rosario. That's just me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because those are 2 guys that can hit.
I think the Yankees need one of those guys.
No.
Ozuna.
I think.
Marcel Ozuna is also on the market. There's a lot of good players. Can I say something
real quick? Marcel Ozuna was Marcel Ozuna in a 60-game season.
Yeah, I trust Nelson Cruz more and I trust Eddie Rosario.
Okay, I have a question. What team is going to be holding the bag at the end?
Like, we made a mistake.
Like, oh my God, we just spent I can say you were the Marlins. Who's the 2012 Marlins?
Oh my God.
Whoever signs Bauer.
I'm being honest. Ozzie Guillén and Jose Reyes, Sports Illustrated, Burley. We were there. We were the team. We were going into the.
I'm going to say that. I think whoever signs Bauer
is going to hold the bag.
Is going to hold the bag because, first of all,
it's 162 games.
And he's coming back.
I'm just saying though, you were there.
Coming back.
You were there. You were that manager.
He's coming back to the National League. The Astros just got Brantley back. That means he's got to face Oakland, Houston. That's not easy.
Well, and then the rest of the American League.
And the rest of the American League in Texas. Tough division. He's coming off a 60-game season. He pitched in the NL Central.
He stays in the National League.
He better.
There's no way that he comes like Lester. Everyone's like, say National. There's no way you come.
Oh, John Lester. People were very upset about him signing with the Nationals for 1 year.
By the way, another sneaky
sign. The Nationals have made 2 moves.
The Nationals last year.
The Nationals from the World
Series. They didn't care. They said, whatever.
Exactly.
Strasburg, go rest. Mad Max.
Nationals would be my sneaky pick to get into the NLCS. Amazing pitching staff. Sign Schwarber to a 1-year deal. Sign John Lester to a 1-year deal. They can get it done.
Dave Martinez still got it. I got to say before we wrap up, I'm actually very proud of you.
Really?
Well, I'm just saying proud in the sense of I'll be honest with you. I think that it was easier for you to be manager of the year because managing the game of baseball, you only have to talk to the media twice and talk to them about, Merkin saying, Ozzie, who hits better second. Like, it's not that hard to talk as a manager. But
Well, it's harder then than now. Now,
correct.
Now they're
But
weak.
I'm saying, though, no, I think your job now, okay, you're doing it on La Vida Baseball. You're on 670 The Score. You do it with NBC Sports in a city where we claim that we have the best sports in anywhere in the United States, comparable to Boston, New York. LA doesn't count. But Dave Kaplan, Layla, a lot of friends of mine made it in the power rankings.
Oh, 13.
But at number 13 in the city of Chicago, the Sun-Times thought that you were the most powerful media person, power ranking wise, 13. So you are the only person now that has made the power rankings as a player, as a manager, and now as a media member.
And
in English.
David Kaplan was number 1.
No,
I think Lawrence Holm was around 8 or 9. People that you know, Jason Goff, Jason Benetti, Steve Stone. These guys have been in media for 20, 25 plus years.
And you were the only non-native.
You were the
speaker,
only non-native speaker
of English.
and you were the only I want to say ex-player.
Eddie Orchak, the hockey.
Oh, the hockey guy. Frank wasn't on there. BA wasn't on there. Pods, none of those guys. It was you in the
Well,
media.
they asked me about I just go there, do the job, have fun, and hopefully I can do my job good every night. But a lot of people ask me.
Our friend Chuck wasn't on there.
What's the hardest thing you did in your career? I say, be at the World Series with Fox,
National
television, when your English is very not too bonito, and you have time, you have everything. Now working with ESPN with the guys, Nestor Jerez and the rest of the guys help me a lot. But I just go there, have fun. I just go there, make sure I will say facts. Because that comes from you. And every time I have confusion something, I text you guys to help me about what's the deal. The long you can say and stay, I look at the cap talking about football. I don't know anything about football, hockey, just to learn.
Can I say something real quick?
It's amazing.
He is one of the best. There is people that cover the game of baseball. There's people that cover football. I might let you start covering other sports. Because there's people out there that cover other sports that have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Well, I wish, we're going to talk about it. I wish I could,
Just blame, for the Bears, just blame the owner, blame the GM. Just ride that out. For the Bulls, say they're going to come back. For hockey, I'm just saying that there's other people out there covering baseball that you could go cover their sport.
Well, it's in baseball. It's
like not many people are going to be Kaplan. Like Kaplan's like at a level of like baseball's like his second best sport. The guy's like a wizard in basketball. His background, like dude, there's people that do like Lawrence is an amazing football person, but there's people that do that. Like I am willing that you could probably go talk about another sport before other sports guys come talk about baseball.
Guys, and we before we wrap the show, we're slowly getting to February and spring training. So all this stuff.
The COVID is still here.
Yeah.
We thought it change.
And bars and restaurants are going to reopen. We're headed in the right path.
I'm going to make a prediction.
No politics. No.
Okay.
We got someone asking Eddie from the bar that's always watching us. Eddie Cass, where does he want? Where can we get this La Vida gear?
Oh, so La Vida Baseball. Go to the Team Brown page. Actually, go on my Twitter. I actually shared it today. We got our hats.
Beautiful hat.
La Vida Baseball. It's on the website right here. I just can't see with my LaVidaBaseball.com/store. Get your La Vida gear. We have everyone watching us from Sherry to Eddie Cass. Someone says that Clemente Jr. watched our show and he really liked it, which is really, really cool. We're just trying to grow and make sure to follow us on the page on Being Guillén. But La Vida, not to say anything, but La Vida sweater, the sweater that we have, super comfy.
It is my favorite sweater to wear.
We have an amazing. There's a lot of logos out there. I think Baseballism is probably the only company with a better logo than ours.
They're watching us. The best. They're watching us in Key West, Florida.
That's a nice place to be at.
Great area.
So,
okay,
congrats.
Thank you. Very quick. Yesterday, I see the mayor of Chicago say Biden is
going to work.
It's a record. Wow, great thing. Biden is the president of the United States.
He wants to tell Lori
Go to work.
Get to work.
Look, she say
get to work.
She loves telling people to get to work.
Okay, get to work. I almost say something very stupid, but I didn't say. Yeah, listen what you're saying.
Well, you know
it's
what?
Time to get to work in this town. Don't worry about the nation.
You know what? If we're going to talk about the nation, I'd be concerned because there's a lot of fans. If we say something negative about Lori, I think we might get praised.
Oh, no, I know. I don't want to say something negative.
No, I will.
I just say,
we're headed in the right path. Bars are reopening.
I'll tell you why. 100 days mask mandate. After those first 100 days, I feel like the when you do the counting, spring training will be around the corner.
Yeah, and that
They'll
means
start doing
that
everything.
means fans in the stand. We have fans
Please.
already, but fans means 106. Ozzy really wants 162 games
I
because
don't think we'll have
he can work 130. They have a bet. They will do 162.
If Ozzy said that they're not going to do 162,
They will play
I'm
162.
taking the opposite.
Oh, my
162
God. By
games,
the way,
Major League
Ibis,
Baseball.
Thank you for the birthday.
Thank you, guys. La Vida Baseball. And again, stay together, stay close, stay safe. We'll see you guys next week.